Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, August 6th through Sunday, August 12th, 2018. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Power Angel Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Archangel Divination deck, which is by Doreen Virtue. So we have a really busy week with a lot of astrological energies going on. So before we get into that, let's take a look at your stones of choice. Your first stone of choice is a beautiful amethyst cluster. Now, the amethyst is that beautiful violet-purple energy that relates to the crown chakra. This stone helps to open you up to higher consciousness and higher vibrations as far as information and messages from your angels and guides. It's a great stone to bring a sense of peace and calm and serenity. It's good for dream work. It helps you to remember your dreams. And this particular amethyst, because it's a cluster, is really good for humanitarian endeavors and assisting through the service on planet Earth. And then your second stone of choice is this beautiful light pink rose quartz. The rose quartz, of course, relates to the heart chakra. And this helps to bring in a sense of self-love, which equates to helping you to heal self-worth issues or feelings of being undeserving. So it's going to help you to really, again, bring in that aspect of love of self. And this also, of course, is helpful to heal relationships, and because it deals with the heart chakra, to heal our emotions and feelings within relationships with other people. This can be considered a stone that helps you with soulmate love. And again, it has a very soft, nurturing, peaceful kind of energy to it. And then your last stone of choice is this very beautiful azurite. Now, the azurite is a very dark, deep blue. It's an indigo blue color, so this relates to the third eye chakra, which is the place of clairvoyance and clairaudience. It brings into account the ear chakras for clairaudience. So all sorts of psychic perceptions here with this one. That dark indigo blue color has this kind of mystery and magic about it. It makes me think of the ancient Egyptians and how they often would use lapis, and although this is azurite, it's still within that color scheme of that, beautiful deep blue that brings in that kind of mystery and divine magic and esoteric kind of wisdom and knowledge and healing. It reminds me of Archangel Raziel's energy. So again, mostly the third eye with clear perceptions, clear intuitions, clear insights. Again, your stones of choice for your special message card are the amethyst cluster, the rose quartz, and the deep blue azurite. So let's talk about the astrology for the week. As I mentioned, there's a lot going on this week, and this is the week of the third eclipse in this eclipse season. Back in July, early July, we had a new Moon Solar Eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer, and then on July 27th, we had a full moon lunar eclipse at 4 degrees of Aquarius. This week, we're going to have the third and final eclipse, a new moon solar eclipse at 18 degrees of Leo. But before we get to that, let's start out at the beginning of the week. On Monday, the 6th of August, we have Venus, the planet that rules love and relationships. It also rules finances and money, and it is moving into the sign of Libra. Now, Venus rules two signs of the zodiac. It rules Taurus, which is more the money sign, and it rules Libra, which is more the sign of partnerships and relationships. So here, while Venus is in Libra for the next few weeks, there's going to be a focus on all of the partnerships in our lives, and this can be romantic partnerships, business partnerships, partnerships with our friends or with family members. It's all about one-on-one relationships. It's all about the idea of equality and balance and harmony and compromise with Libra. So, you know, again, Venus moving through that sign of Libra, relationships are highlighted. And this could be a time, if you are single, that perhaps a new relationship could potentially pop into your life. If you're already in a relationship, situations and circumstances within that partnership or relationship might take a focus for the next little while. Also on Monday the 6th, the Sun is challenging Jupiter. Right now the Sun is in the sign of Leo, which is all about our creative self-expression, shining our light. You know, also it does rule children. Leo rules children. And this is in a challenging square aspect to Jupiter, which is the planet of growth and expansion. It's considered the planet of prosperity and abundance, and it also rules our belief systems, kind of that higher mind, if you will. Now, Jupiter's in Scorpio right now, has been in Scorpio since last fall 2017, and will be in Scorpio until the fall, I think it's November here of 2018. While Jupiter has been in Scorpio, it's expanding all of that energy regarding power, control, secrets, and our sense of empowerment as well, and what our belief systems are about death and rebirth and transformation and all those scorpionic themes, if you will. With the Sun in a challenging aspect to Jupiter, and because the Sun does rule our ego, and Leo is the naturally ruling sign that goes with the Sun, I feel like this can be people's egos being expanded out of proportion, again with Jupiter there, and you know, with that, again, Scorpio energy. There might be power and control issues with other people. Some people may have an inflated sense of, again, their own ego, or their own sense of leadership, or their own sense of, you know, creative self-expression, if you will. Now, this can also, of course, expand your creativity, but remember, it is a challenging square aspect. So we might feel, in some ways, kind of almost like we're feeling, I don't want to say blocked, but we're feeling a little challenged with our creative self-expression. You know, like maybe we're not quite there, or we don't quite know enough, or we're not quite exuding our personality in the way that we want to. So again, there's that little bit of a challenge going on there, but definitely, again, the ego thing might just get a little bit blown out of proportion with that Jupiter influence. Now on Tuesday, we have Uranus turning to retrograde motion at 2 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is this planet where I always say expect the unexpected. And so with Uranus turning retrograde, and even the 2 or 3 days previous to that, which kind of brings us into the end of last week, you're going to be feeling some of that Uranian energy, which is about the strange, the unusual. It's about independence. It's about being the rebel. Uranus rules freedom. And, you know, again, it rules sudden and unexpected things happening, situations, or energies within a person happening. One of the things that we often experience when Uranus turns retrograde is this inner electrical energy within our beingness, which can equal perhaps not being able to sleep, or not getting as much sleep as we're used to. Our dream state may be interrupted, and or we may have very active dreams. So you want to also pay attention to your dreams around that time, because they can be they might be a little crazy and strange, but they can also have a prophetic quality to them, because Uranus rules that higher dimensional, fifth dimensional energy. It rules kind of the claircognizance skill or psychic ability, which claircognizance is just a knowingness. It's a higher knowing of opening the crown chakra and being downloaded with information from another realm, or information from your angels and guides, or information from the universe. This is also heightening people's channeling abilities, and whether you're channeling something verbally or channeling something through writing, that can heighten as well. So basically, your claircognizance, psychic skill, and even perhaps some of your other psychic skills like clairaudience or clairvoyance, those also can be heightened around this time of the shift immensely. Also, because Uranus is in Taurus as it's turning retrograde, you might find some unusual or strange circumstances regarding personal resources. In other words, it could be about your money or your finances. There could be something that comes in surprisingly all of a sudden, you know, a gift of money of some sort. This could also be, though, money going out suddenly as well. So we don't know exactly how that's going to work with Uranus. Now, Taurus is an earth sign, so it rules the earth. Uranus shakes things up. Uranus is a rebel, a mover, a shaker. You know, again, that's like the lightning bolt of information. So there could be, as Uranus is turning to retrograde motion, could be an increase in storms. This is weather stuff with storms or earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, maybe even like mudslides, you know, all the things that rule the earth. But also because it rules lightning, it brings into account these like lightning storms as well. Also on Tuesday, Venus, which as we mentioned just went into Libra on Monday, is going to be making a positive connection to Mars in Aquarius. Now, Venus is the feminine influence, Mars is the masculine influence. Venus is in her home sign of Libra, the sign of partnerships, and Mars is an activator planet. So you could be, again, potentially meeting someone new. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic, but there could be just meeting of new people that's occurring. This could also bring in a nice creative flow of energy, because Venus likes to be very aesthetically pleasing, and you know, she can be very creative. And again, Mars is in that sign of Uranus, so this is, you know, kind of activating that Aquarian energy of higher mind, you know, of higher intellect in some way. On Wednesday the 8th, the Sun is connecting with Mercury, which is retrograde right now in the sign of Leo. So again, the Leo energy can be highlighted here with the Sun shining its light in Leo upon Mercury in Leo. This can be a very creative time. So if you're doing any kind of creative projects, this is a good time to really kind of put your focus there. This can highlight communications with other people as well, because Mercury does rule communication. So meetings, brainstorming new ideas, you know, coming up with a new way of thinking. This is all highlighted with the Sun connecting with Mercury on that day. On Thursday, Venus is going to be challenging Saturn. Now, Saturn has that limitation kind of effect, that restricting kind of effect. Saturn is the planet of lessons, and he's considered the great teacher. Now, this is a challenging aspect with Venus in the partnership sign of Libra, so relationships might feel a little strained that day. There might be some sort of lessons, karmic lessons that we're moving through or trying to understand. The relationship, there might be a need for one or both persons to have a little bit more downtime, or not feeling really like connecting, with the other person. And again, whether this be romantic or friendship or family or business, that same kind of energy can have effect. Now, with Venus ruling finances and money, even though she is in Libra, she still has that influence with finances, money, personal resources. There again can be a little bit of a challenge or strain or feeling of limitation or restriction that's going on. And it could be with money and finances with your partner, whether it be a business partner or a significant other partner, that they're feeling a strain financially. On Friday the 10th, the moon is in Leo. And I bring this up with the moon because the moon will be challenging Uranus, and then it will be challenging Jupiter, and then it will be connecting with Mercury. Now, we already discussed what Uranus and Jupiter and Mercury are all about. So just to kind of sum it up, this may be a time to where we're really needing to pay attention to our emotional state of well-being and not being emotionally reactive, and empowering ourselves and believing in ourselves, and maybe doing some self-talk as far as, giving yourself a little pat on the back, or, you can do it, kind of being your own cheerleader here. So that's what I see with the Friday energy. On Saturday, right before the new moon solar eclipse happens, Mercury is going to be challenging Jupiter. So again, Mercury rules the mind, the mental realm. Jupiter rules the higher mind, our belief systems. They're challenging one another. So again, we may feel challenged on the mental level in regards to how we're believing or thinking about our lives, about ourselves, maybe about our partnerships, maybe about, our money, our career. It could be anything here. Now, this is asking us to really look at things from a different perspective. That's what the challenge of this is all about. There's always an opportunity, even within the challenging aspects. There's always a positive twist on things if you look for it. So the positive twist on this is to look at things from a different perspective and empower yourself and come into more of a sense of confidence with yourself. Now, the new Moon Solar Eclipse is at 18 degrees of Leo and also happens on Saturday the 11th. Again, this is the third of 3 eclipses that we've had in a row now. And just because we've already experienced those first 2 eclipses and now we're experiencing this third eclipse doesn't mean all the changes and redirections are over with. The eclipse energies last for some weeks yet, okay? So some of the changes and some of the transformations and some of the redirections and the death and rebirth energies of what's going on with these eclipses may last until the beginning of 2019 when the next set of eclipses occur. So we'll still be having the endings and new beginnings happening here for some time to come. It's just that these eclipses kind of shook up the energies and shook up the situations and circumstances in our life to start that ball rolling, to start things to unfold in a different kind of way. On Sunday the 12th, we have Mars, the warrior planet, the planet of energy and action and forward movement. It's been retrograde for a while, and it started its retrograde motion in Aquarius, but now it's retrograding back into Capricorn for a couple of degrees before it turns to direct motion. Now, Mars is about forward movement, as I said, and it feels like things may be slowed down and we're kind of reworking things or revamping things. That's part of the Mercury retrograde that we're also in, but it's also part of the Mars retrograde. So we're not fully seeing things unfold in the way that we would like, although we're working on things and it's moving that way. But we're going to see that more when Mars turns direct, and that's going to be on August 27th. But for right now, as Mars retrogrades back into Capricorn, there's going to be now more of a shift and focus on our goals, projects that we're working on, things to do with our career and our life path, because that's what Capricorn rules. So that was a lot of the astrology. Let's take a look at the message from our angels and guides here from the Power Angel Tarot deck. Okay, so you can see that there was 2 cards there in the beginning, and that's because 2 cards came out for the first card. And the first card here is the King of Michael, which is like the King of Swords, the King of Air. And at the top of the card it says principled, rational, ambitious, respected. The message at the bottom, wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. So remember, Mercury is retrograde, and we do have a couple of Mercury aspects going on this week. First with the Sun on Wednesday, and then with Jupiter on Saturday. So this is really telling us to be logical and intellectual. The King of Air, the King of Michael here, is a very intelligent, strong, masculine, self-assured, kind of business-oriented person, or at least the energies are such. And so again, if you're having communications with other people, you need to be really open and honest with them right now. Maybe that's part of the Mercury retrograde for you, is to kind of address things that maybe have been swept under the rug, to not hide what your true thoughts are regarding a matter. This can also be about coming up with new ideas, because the King of Michael, or the King of Air, is very idea oriented, again very business-like. So I feel like working on business projects, drawing up important contracts, although it might be best to not sign the important contract until Mercury goes direct if you can, but you can draw them up and you can kind of fine-tune those contracts, if you will. Network with other people, get involved with humanitarian groups, work on, projects, either with yourself or with other people. But let's go ahead and take a look at that other card that came out with this first card and see if there's additional information. Okay, we have Major Arcana number 16, which says change your life, with Archangel Chamuel. In the traditional tarot deck, this is the Tower card. And right away I think of Uranus turning to retrograde motion on Tuesday, especially with these two cards combined. I feel like, before we even read the message at the bottom, this is about coming up with new ideas about how to do something, because the old way of thinking or the old way of believing isn't working, or all of a sudden has stopped working. This, again, like the Tower card, it's like extreme change and transformation within regards to situations and circumstances on the outer level of your reality that causes you to need to shift your inner reality in some way. So the message at the bottom says a sudden revelation that offers freedom. And there's that key word of freedom, which Uranus rules. Uranus rules breaking free or freeing yourself of some old paradigm of energy, of some old circumstance or situation. So again, I'll say a sudden revelation that offers freedom. It says break free of procrastination, embrace the opportunities that change brings. Now again, Uranus rules kind of change and redirection, sudden unexpected happenings. This is telling us that a lot of it is going to be on the mental realm. It doesn't mean that there's not something with changes in situations or in the physical realm going on, but here with the King of Michael and with the Change Your Life card, Major Arcana 16, we're talking about changes in the way that you're thinking, perceiving, or believing about something, and that there needs to be a different way to look at things. All right, let's take a look at the next card here. Okay, we have another Major Arcana, and this is Major Arcana number 12, and it's called Perspective. So we're still in the mental realm with this. And this is also Archangel Chamuel. So because we've had two Archangel Chamuel ruled cards in a row, we should mention that Archangel Chamuel is the archangel that rules our life purpose. You can call him in to assist you with your life purpose goals or ambitions. Now, Archangel Chamuel, as a lot of you know, also assists with soulmate relationships, and with Venus having gone into Libra and there being a focus on relationship matters, he's also here to help with that as well. So the message at the bottom says, there's a better way. Pause for reflection and insight, and dare to be different. Now, right away when I read pause, to pause and reflect, one thing I forgot to mention as we're nearing that new moon solar eclipse on Saturday is that on Friday, we're in the dark of the moon phase. That's when we had the moon in Leo challenging Uranus and Jupiter and connecting with Mercury, the planet that does rule our thoughts and our ideas. So as we're in that dark of the moon right before the new moon solar eclipse, it's a great time to pause and reflect and try to look at things that are happening from a different perspective, or to really contemplate, again, your own belief systems, your own inner emotional nature, your subconscious patterns of what has been occurring or what seems to be replaying itself over and over again in your life, or again, in regards to a situation or circumstance that might not seem to be unfolding the way that you had previously thought. This is all about trying to gain some sort of inner insight in regards to all of those things. Okay, let's look at the last card. I'm anxious to see, and we have another Major Arcana. Major Arcana number 20, and this is called New Beginnings in this particular deck. And it's with Archangel Jeremiah. He's the archangel that helps us to do life reviews, to kind of review the past, review how we've done things previously. This can also be about reviewing past lives or past life patterns. Now, the message at the bottom says, starting a new life, finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. So I love this. This is definitely, as it often does when I'm doing these readings, there's a theme here that goes along with the astrology for the week. And again, the new moon solar eclipse, the new moons are always about new beginnings, a new start, a fresh start, planting new seeds. And again, it's the second new moon solar eclipse since the beginning of July. So there's definitely new beginnings in the work. Now first we have to go through the endings, the releasing, the letting go of the old to make space for whatever the new energies or the new beginnings are all about. So this is a very powerful week. You know, there's been, like I said, a lot happening astrologically, ending with the solar eclipse. We have 3 major arcanas here, and a lot of it is, again, on a mental realm. You know, change your life, the King of Air, the perspective. And even the New Beginnings card, you know, we have to start with a new way of seeing things or a new way of believing about things. So this can be new beginnings on the mental realm first. A new way of thinking about your life, a new way of thinking about your path, you know, being more positive and optimistic with how you're seeing things, you know, metaphorically speaking, because how you're seeing things metaphorically is going to then translate over the weeks ahead into something manifesting on the 3rd dimensional plane. Okay, so before we run out of time here, let's go ahead and see what your special message card is depending on your stone of choice. So we're going to shuffle here the Archangel deck, and this one's popping up for the Amethyst people. Patience, yes, patience. Even though these eclipses are happening, we still have to have patience with how things are going to unfold. There's still energies that need to universally, energetically, astrologically, need to kind of come into play before we're able to move forward with our plans, our ideas, the next step on our path. This is with Archangel Jophiel, and it says, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So know that the timing of the universe is not always what we feel our timing should be on this 3rd dimensional planet. Know that things are already happening, transpiring, unfolding on a spiritual level. Again, especially if you're putting your visualization and your thoughts and your positive emotions towards it. But still, again, to have things manifest on the 3rd dimensional level sometimes takes a little bit of time. You know, this is, the 3rd dimension is, again, that aspect of time, whereas in the higher dimensions, things happen more rapidly. But for now, you need to, again, nurture the seeds that you're planting and have a little bit of patience as they're coming into fruition, as your plans are coming into fruition. For those of you that chose the rose quartz, okay, when I shuffled once, this card just felt like it was the one. Leadership, I love this. I did an Instagram post not too long ago, about a week ago, and this was the card that came up for that Instagram post. This is leadership with Archangel Gabriel. It says, it is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. Now we're in the sign of Leo right now. The sun's in Leo, Mercury's in Leo. And Leo is the sign of confidence, courage, leadership, creativity. So this card always reminds me of that. Archangel Gabriel is the archangel that helps us with communications, all types of communications, speaking, teaching, writing, blogging, learning, you know, being a student, being a teacher. So here, and I feel that yellow is very prominent here with the solar plexus, your center of personal power, owning your power, empowering yourself, again, being confident in yourself and where you're going or the steps that you're feeling that you need to take. This is saying, yes, take charge of your life now, be a leader and move forward. Love that. And then for those of you that chose the azurite, let's give this a shuffle here. And I'm just waiting to see one that kind of calls to me or pops up. Azurite people. Okay, this one on the bottom is kind of starting to pull itself up. Claircognizance. Wow, that's interesting because I talked about Uranus turning retrograde and the claircognizance. So, claircognizance with Archangel Uriel. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So Archangel Uriel is the archangel that helps with the higher mind, that helps with inspiration, that helps with our belief systems. So he's kind of the healer of the mental body, so to speak. And because he rules that mental body aspect, he actually rules that, again, that higher mind. claircognizance, channeling information, opening up that ability to kind of be more perceptive and allow things from the universe to kind of flow down through the crown chakra and be seen as little blips of insight, or little kind of, even the clairvoyance too, along with the claircognizance. It's like seeing something, you know, feeling something, knowing something. But especially with that channeling here. I love the rainbow that's in this card here. It's telling me that your hopes and dreams are going to come true, especially if you follow those flashes of insight. Just like it says here, pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you. Those flashes of insight, follow them. That's how your guides and angels, that's how Archangel Uriel is communicating with you. All right, everyone, I want to send you all lots of love and light. I want to send all a big thank you to everyone who's following my Facebook and Instagram posts, looking, you know, at my website and some of the things on there that I have to offer under Sacred Soul Empowerment, watching my videos, sharing my videos, subscribing to the channel. I send you all many, many angel blessings, and again, much love and light to all.